What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, bringing you the best of all things gaming Monday to Friday. We're back on Call of Duty Black Ops 3 today. The last Twitter poll for what golden weapon review you guys wanted to see next ended in a tie between the ICR-1 and the 48 Dredge. We've already done the ICR-1. I'll put a link to that video in the description below and in the card in the top right corner. Today, we're looking at the 48 Dredge light machine gun. Don't forget to head to the comment section of this video and to the new Twitter poll that will be posted on my Twitter at BlackTideTV after this video goes out to vote for which weapon you want to see next. We're going to be going between the Vesper or the Argus and XM53, and that one's going to be a dual review. So those are the last two weapons or last two reviews that we're going to be doing in Tier 4 for the golden weapon reviews. So make sure you head over to the Twitter page and into the comment section of this video and vote for which one you want to see next. Now, without further ado, let's talk about what is widely regarded to be the most overpowered LMG of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. The 48 Dredge is the fourth and final LMG available in Black Ops 3, not including any future DLC releases, which I'm really banking on, hoping we're going to get a DLC light machine gun very soon. But it's clear that Treyarch took some futuristic liberties with this weapon when they were creating a six-round auto burst light machine gun. So this is a crazy weapon. It's definitely really special, and they're bringing the futuristic aspects. They're making it as futuristic as they can with this LMG. So what's strange about this LMG is where most weapons have a single descriptive attribute, like the high damage SMG would be the CUDA until the HG40 came out, or the high fire rate assault rifle, which would have been the HVK-30 until the FFAR came out, which is conveniently FFAR, which is fast firing assault rifle, as me and a couple of my friends have come up with. But the 48 Dredge does not have a descriptive attribute. There's nothing to say about the 48 Dredge. It doesn't do anything particularly well. It just competes in all areas. Basically, the BRM has the best range, the Dingo has the fastest fire rate and movement speed, the Gorgon has the highest damage and accuracy. The 48 Dredge doesn't have any of these things. It's very competitive. It's got competitive damage, range, fire rate, movement speed, accuracy. It's competitive at all these things, but it doesn't do one thing particularly better than any of the other LMGs. So apart from being a burst fire LMG, the burst fire LMG, there's nothing to distinguish this weapon from the other LMGs in the game. It does, however, do one thing worse than any of the other LMGs, and that is reload. The this LMG has the slowest reload speed of, I think, every gun in the entire game at just over 7 seconds. Like 7 seconds to reload this thing. That takes forever and a half. That is insane. You're definitely screwed if you get caught in the middle of a reload with this guy. You really want to be careful about where you're reloading, when you're reloading, and how you're going to reload as well. So it does have a decent fire rate, and it's got a relatively small magazine size thanks to the 6-round burst. So a slow reload is definitely not something that's going to be good for people that are going to use the 48 Dredge. But reload speed aside, this weapon is incredibly well balanced. I think it's very accurate despite having a terrible iron sight. It'll kill in 4 out of 6 shots from a single burst, so it's very powerful. It's got a nice high wall penetration factor, right on par with the Gorgon. It's got it ADSs and it moves at the same speed as the BRM and the Gorgon, so it is very competitive with a lot of the other LMGs. It's kind of that middle range LMG that's good at just about everything except for that reload speed. So how should we use the 48 Dredge? I would say that you should use the 48 Dredge conservatively. That's the best word that comes to my mind for it. You just really got to make sure you're prepared to deal with that heinous reload speed, and you should be good to go with using this weapon. As long as you're prepared, as long as you're always keeping an eye on your ammo count, as long as you're trying to kill all of your enemies in a single burst so that you don't have to reload as often. Like, you get, I think it's 60 bullets in a clip to start with this thing, and a 6-round burst. It means you only get 10 bursts before you have to reload. If you're firing 2 or 3 bursts at every enemy, you're gonna have to reload a lot more often. So what you're gonna want to do is try and conserve your ammo and just play really tactically, be really smart about when you're gonna fire your bursts and who you're firing your bursts at, and like obstacles in your way when you're firing your bursts. Just make sure that you're gonna get the guy in a single burst by having your accuracy on point. All you have to do is hit them with 4 out of 6 of those shots most of the time, so you shouldn't really have a big problem with it, with killing your enemies in a single burst and conserving your ammunition. Then you can kill 10 enemies before you even have to reload. So try to just always be paying attention to your ammo count, and just pay attention to your ammo count, please, because this is just like the one thing that will get you when you're using the 48 Dredge. So another thing that you should probably learn is you should learn how to reload cancel by either double tapping triangle or Y, depending on what system you play with, just so you can reload cancel. Because reload canceling, if you actually reload cancel at the right time, right after you actually see the new bullets go into the gun, it will reload cancel. It'll cut off the animation. It will reload your gun, but the animation will be cut in half. It'll basically half the time that your reloading will take, and that's very, very helpful, especially on a weapon that takes 7 seconds to reload. I think if you reload cancel while you get it just in time, I think you can reload this weapon in about 4 seconds or 5 seconds. So it's definitely worth looking into learning how to reload cancel. I don't think you can sprint cancel in this game. I think you do have to YY or hit triangle twice to kind of start lowering your weapon, then raise your weapon back up again, and it will just cancel your reload completely. And if you do it at the right time, you will be able to keep the new ammunition that you're putting into the gun. It's going to stay in there, and it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So definitely try that out. Make sure you're look up some videos on how to reload cancel and how to reload faster and cancel the animation. I haven't made any videos on it because it's basically general knowledge at this point in the Call of Duty hemisphere or whatever. Like, all the people that play Call of Duty basically know about this at this point, so I'm not going to make a video on it. But if you do need a video, you can look it up on YouTube. I'm sure somebody has made a video on how to sprint cancel or whatever. So make sure you know how to do that. Make sure you know how to reload cancel, and you're going to have a much better time using this LMG. So with that trick under your belt, coupled with fast mags, extended mags, or both, this LMG will actually be quite the dream in your hands. It's a really easy to use LMG. You're going to find it's going to be very powerful, and it's, like I said, it's really well rounded. It's very accurate. It's very high damage. It's got long enough range that you're pretty much always going to get a 4-shot kill. It's actually pretty great at destroying score streaks, although I'm not going to do much work against this Wraith here. But it's just really great. It's really well rounded, and I think you're going to have a good time with this LMG. As far as a class build goes, defensive classes seem to suit LMGs a little bit better, but this time it's really up to you. The 48 Dredge is just such a flexible weapon, apart from that reload speed, that you can build a class to your liking and it will generally work. Like, you can try stealth, you can try a rushing class, you can try a defensive class. Like, do whatever you want to do, and you're going to have a good time using this LMG. Your specialist should suit your class build, so if you're playing like a stealth class build, use active camo or something stealthy, something to get you into the enemy spawn. If you're gonna be defensive, you might want to try a hive and put up hives all around you so that you can be defensive with your hives saving your ass all the time. Or you can try an aggressive class, just put on a random weapon and just use a weapon-based specialist, or you can use like gravity spikes, whatever you need to do. Just try it and try to make it so that your specialist revolves around your class. You don't need it to revolve around this weapon in particular. So, I mean, you could use something like Heatwave or something like that that will help you for reloading this weapon. So if you get into a situation where you're in the middle of reloading and an enemy rushes you, you can use like gravity spikes to kill them. You can use Heatwave to get them off. You can use Ripper to just annihilate them like the second that they walk into your area. So anything like that could help you for reload speeds, or you should probably just base your specialist around what kind of class you're going to build. Attachments are a completely different story though. When it comes to attachments, you got to make sure you're running fast mags, extended mags, or both at all times. I would recommend fast mags over extended mags because, yeah, extended mags is going to make your magazine size a lot larger, which means you won't have to reload as often, but you're still going to be reloading and it's still going to be really slow. So fast mags is the one that I'm going to go for when it comes to a magazine attachment, but you can definitely run both, and that would be a good option as well. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes when it comes to running an what am I trying to say? A magazine attachment. You cannot neglect a magazine attachment for this weapon. You got to use a fast mags or an extended mags or both at all times. Like, that is no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes there. Like, you have to. That is like the one rule of using this weapon. Use fast mags or extended mags, because you're gonna get killed when you're reloading and it's gonna piss you off. So use one of those extended mags or fast mags or a magazine attachment at all times, and you're going to have a much better time using this weapon. Of course, you're not going to have them at all times, because you will have to rank up the weapon to unlock those attachments. But once you do have them unlocked, there's no question you got to use them. You may also want a grip to keep the accuracy a little bit, or the recoil a little bit more steady with this weapon, and an optic just because the iron sights are less than helpful at longer ranges. They're not amazing, so they can. An optic will definitely help you at longer ranges. You could use something instead of a foregrip. You could actually stack the Varix 3 or the BOA onto your weapon, and those will actually give you a massive accuracy bonus, which is kind of crazy. I haven't made a video on it yet. I'm probably going to make a video on it in the future. Hopefully I can make a video on it before they get nerfed again. But the Varix 3 and BOA sights actually increase your accuracy like crazy. So you might want to try the Varix 3 on this guy. You might want to try the Recon, because it actually has no idle sway as well. So any kind of optic is going to work great on this. It's going to be better than the iron sights anyways. The iron sights I find are really obstructive. They're kind of really small. There's got a small hole to look through. They're hard to use at longer ranges. So try an optic and maybe even a grip if you want. Don't use a grip if you're using the Varix 3, because it'll cancel out the effects. I'm going to make a video on that in the future. Just stay tuned for that one. But use either a Varix 3 or a BOA and a grip, or a Recon and a grip. So that's basically what you're going to want to do. Or a red dot sight, as you're seeing in this video. The 48 Dredge Insurgent, which is the golden variant that you're seeing in today's video, is using a reflex sight, a grip, a fast mag attachment, and the suppressor attachment, which I actually found to be surprisingly very, very effective on the 48 Dredge. Just because the base range on all the LMGs is so long, suppressors won't be that bad for them. Like, the base range on this thing for the 4-shot kill range is like 120 meters or something like that. So that's like across the map. You're never going to engage an enemy at 120 meters. So when you put a suppressor on there, it's not going to make it that bad. And you, like I said, you're going to get it takes 4 out of 6 shots regularly to kill an enemy. So you're wasting 2 of those bullets anyways. Even if you're using a suppressor and it takes an extra shot to kill, well, that extra shot would have just been wasted when you're firing when you're firing the weapon regularly anyway. So the suppressor is a really great attachment for the 48 Dredge. This is probably the best LMG in the game to put a suppressor on. Now that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to head into the comments or to my Twitter page at BlackTideTV to vote on the next golden weapon review. There's 2 options in that vote. You can vote for the Vesper, or we're going to do an XM53 and Argus in the same video. It's going to be a dual review just because I can't make gameplay with just the XM53. So it was the Argus and the XM53. Dual review or the Vesper, so make sure you're voting on that in the comment section down below and on the Twitter page at BlackTideTV. So that's just about it. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, if you found this video to be useful, or if you learned something about the 48 Dredge that you never knew before. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll leave you with the gameplay from this point on. It's just a really short round until the end of the game, so thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Good effect. Battery, requesting Cerberus support. Threat neutralized.
Bomb active.
Profit reached.
Hostile UAV above.
Nomad kill. Incoming RPG! RPG!
Black Ops, mark up another win.
TACOM, requesting redeploy to new hot zone.
Get back to boot camp.